2, 1. It's time to rip. Oh, fuck. What was that? Oh, it's a fade in.
That's how I feel about representing our country.
Okay. All right, I'll count down again. You guys can fade in.
Now that is my cold open.
What? What?
It's time to wrap.
Go.
ما في وقت للعب 9 ل1 كونتينيو 20 كاستوديو تقني ولا لازم شوف
With David Drucker, the Hockey News, Ethan and Rose in the other studio, I'm Roy Bellamy. This is The Hockey Show. You can check us out on YouTube at The Hockey Show DLS, on TikTok at The Hockey Show 7, and on X, Instagram, and Threads at Hockey Show DLS. We're going to talk about Stadium Series and the Artemi Panarin trade with Greg Brzezinski of ESPN. He's the senior NHL writer over there. But first, we're going to talk about the big news that came out of college hockey.
McKenna.
Thank you. You got it. You got it. Good job,
Florida
Rosie.
Panther Gavin McKenna. Let's be very clear.
We'll get to that as well. Gavin McKenna has been charged with felony assaults, as well as several other charges after getting into a fight with a guy that he and a group of people that McKenna was a part of got into a verbal spat. Apparently, McKenna punched the guy in the face twice, broke his jaw, knocked out a tooth as well. Some blood splattered all over the sidewalk. It was a mess. It was said on the police report. Right side of his face, twice. So that jaw is broken. First-degree felony aggravated assault in Pennsylvania is a maximum of 20 years and or $25,000 in a fine. This is a career-altering situation for a guy that might go number one in the draft this year. So he's also in the first year at Penn State after playing 3 years in juniors. So this could go in any direction, David. What do you think?
You said he got hit in the right side of his face
twice.
Gavin McKenna's a lefty, so I guess that kind of
that kind of
makes
tracks,
sense.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I've been thinking about it since this came out. Have we ever seen a top draft prospect? God, I can't even talk.
Prospect?
Have we ever seen a top draft prospect
aggravated?
Get arrested or have any kind of charge or anything like this in the months leading up to the draft? Like I feel like this is very unprecedented.
There was that Hockey Canada 5 thing.
Yeah, but they had already been drafted.
No, they already been drafted.
They'd already had
Carter Hart was already in the league.
This is like, I don't know, like this is like going back to draft day when Arian Foster's character got in a fight when he was the FSU running back. Do we take him in the first round? I don't know. That was the only comparable that I could think of, and that's fiction.
Dolphins had a draft pick that
I was going to say Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, but he didn't get arrested. He took a pick in a face bond mask
Yeah, that was the most badass thing of all time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was badass.
I wanted to hang out with him after seeing that. I wanted to draft him twice.
Of course you did.
There are some details it's been reported that we should that have been reported that we should add in, which is that apparently the victim in this case was verbally assaulting or verbally abusing Gavin McKenna's mom.
Oh,
calling
no!
her things that you should not.
Allegedly. This is unconfirmed.
Yeah, allegedly.
This was a
right.
photograph of a text message that got tweeted out.
There was also some more reporting from other people on scene, not just the text message. But basically, the point being that there's two sides to every story.
But even still, though, like, I'm sorry. If you're a potential number one draft pick, you're going to get heckled. You're going to get razzed. People are going to chirp you out
but
in public.
don't go after my mom, dude.
I don't care.
Don't go after my mom.
Don't go after my future.
Don't call my mom names. Don't call my mom
be a bigger man, dude. It's some schmuck stranger. Like, who gives a shit? It's just some rando that you're never going to see again. He's jeopardizing his whole future.
Kid's like 17 years old.
No, I don't care.
And somebody's like verbally assaulting your mother. Like,
he was with his whole team. He was with a group of people, okay? If he's a hothead and his people know that, get him away from this dude. Don't let this happen. There's a lot of safeguards, I feel like, that were failed that let this happen, that got him charged.
That's fair, but, I mean, look,
him.
I think ultimately we're probably not going to look at a situation where Gavin McKenna gets sentenced to 20 years in prison.
No,
he's probably going to end up paying
2 years from now when he's scoring 30 goals a game in the NHL, nobody's going to give a shit.
It's a bar fight where he got a little.
It's not even a bar fight. It's spilled on the street.
Yeah, it was outside a bar when things got a little testy, and we'll probably look back on this, and I don't want to say we'll laugh, but it'll just be a
maybe it's like the Tracy
People have
Morgan,
done
Brett
worse
Kirshner
things
story.
in the NHL. Like.
Yeah, but they've already been drafted. Is the point? Like, this guy, his future has not been set yet.
Is this guy gonna go to prison or no? Because he cannot play from prison.
No,
Well,
he'd be like.
That's going to be tough.
The California Penal League.
They're going to try to protect that man.
Oh, so they're
gonna try to
protecting
protect
him,
that.
but he has to
Well,
go
we
to
don't
prison.
know. Like, that's the thing. Like, all that's happened is he's been charged. I assume he's been arraigned at this point, but I mean, like, that, it has to play out in the court system. Like, whether
How old is the kid?
18.
Oh, kid.
Yeah, he'll be tried as an
And
adult.
young people make stupid mistakes, like, no doubt. Like, this isn't all on Gavin McKenna, but there's a lot of responsibility that is on him and that's on his people. Like, this cannot happen. I don't care
no.
unless the guy like physically like did something and you have to like use your brute strength to separate something. If it's just words, no, man, that's not a line of demarcation to jeopardize your whole future.
All right,
You have to
Don't talk about my
remember-
mom. Don't
All
talk
right.
about my mom.
But-
That's it. Like, don't talk about my mom.
You have to remember that if he was out and under the influence of something, you lose control. So it's
That's why you have a support group, which is
exactly.
That's why you don't
So-
get in a situation like that unless you're surrounded by your people. That's why guys don't go out drinking alone when they're in the NHL.
All right,
So that's McKenna's fault.
So let's say that Ethan
There's
is
a lot of
correct
people at
here,
fault.
and his mom was actually there, right? And this is coming from a guy.
Yeah, it was the weekend of the
was the night of the
game
outdoor
in
game. I
Beaver
think it was right
Stadium.
after the
So
outdoor
I'm
game.
sure his mom was probably in town for the biggest game of the season.
And this is coming from a guy who does Yo Mama jokes on Twitter. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not while she's there. Don't insult another person's mom like that. That's just unbecoming of whoever that person was. I'm not saying that he deserved to get punched in the face, but I understand. Now,
Well, you kind of do deserve to get punched in the face, but you don't actually punch the guy in the face. Like there's other ways around this.
well, his future is apparently on the line, and we'll see what the prosecutors do against Gavin McKenna as we get closer and closer to the draft. On Wednesday, the Flames beat the Oilers in a loss that was so bad for the Oilers that you have to think about it like this. Jonathan Huberdeau specifically played in this game, delayed hip surgery, and scored a goal. Then, after the game, opted out of the season for said hip surgery.
I think he scored the first goal of that game, too,
He
if
did.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he scored the very first goal of that game. Mackenzie Weegar had 2 assists. Brian Lomberg also scored in that game. That was the game winner in the third, so former Panthers got their licks in against the Oilers.
Never fails.
Yeah, so despite being second in the Pacific Division, the Oilers have lost 7 of the last 12, and it's gotten to the point where Leon Draisaitl is pointing fingers. And he's pointing fingers at his
Stop
goaltender.
blaming the goalies.
He's also blaming the coaches, so it's looking bad right now in Edmonton, and they are heading into the Olympic break. So they're gonna have to stew on this one. Dave.
This is a team that's 4 points out of first place in their division. Like, have you seen in the last few years a team that's had more ebbs and flows and high highs and low lows than the Edmonton Oilers? Like, holy cow. Meanwhile, Stuart Skinner's out there playing his brains out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Like, Edmonton could use a goalie like Stuart Skinner right now, and I think that's hilarious.
yeah, it looks like it's working out for Pittsburgh right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, we said at the time basically that they traded Stuart Skinner for Stuart Skinner, right? Like that's literally basically what they did.
No, we didn't
Except
know what
the
Stuart Skinner
Pens
was.
got the better version of Stuart Skinner, the guy that the Oilers had been waiting for. Seems like that change of scenery is really benefiting him, but also they just needed to make a better upgrade. This was never the move that they should have made. Like it always should have been either Jari and Skinner, right? Not Jari and Pickard or Jari and now Ingram. Like Jari was never the answer. I don't know what they were thinking. And the
Maybe-
fact that this has blown up in their face so much it's pretty funny to me, to be honest with you.
Well, maybe the goalies aren't the problem. Maybe it's not the goaltenders that's the problem
right.
in Edmonton.
We can talk about that with another team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year as well, about the goalies not necessarily being the problem, because
Amen.
the defensive structure in Edmonton is looking about the same as the defensive structure in Florida right now.
You know,
Especially with all
Florida's
these
missing
injuries.
half their team
Right.
is
We
the
can, and we'll
difference.
get to that later. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But you know, I'm cutting this video right now, right? But as Draisaitl is saying, like at some point the goalie's got to step up and make a save. You know, and I think a lot of Panther fans are feeling that way, and I'm sure a lot of Edmonton fans have been feeling that way for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, you just don't say it out loud. Like, you don't call your guy out like
course.
that. Like, yes,
course.
I'm not saying that he's wrong and that the goalies need to make saves. Like, the goaltending has not been as good as it needs to be in Edmonton, but don't call your teammates out like that. Like, that never ends well.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but is Chris Knobloch's is he on the hot seat right now?
Probably not the way they run things in Edmonton.
I don't know, man.
He's not the goalie coach, is he?
No, he's not.
No, I don't know, man. Like, what changing the coach, I feel like that's just like rinse repeat at this point. Like, how is that going to fix things?
Not much.
I mean, Chris
just
Knobloch's
another
done
skate.
such a good job.
I'm saying, though, Toronto, they fired their power play coach, and the power play is getting a little bit better. Maybe.
Well, they're still on the game. They're still for playoffs. So
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they're in second place in the Pacific Division. So,
Yeah.
and there's a very good chance that they might play the Kings again in the first round.
Firing Knobloch would just be another scapegoat for the bigger problem here, which
Okay,
is clearly they haven't had a good enough goaltender.
Unless I will say this, there is one really, really, really good hockey coach that's out there unemployed right now. And if Edmonton brought in Peter DeBoer,
I was about to say, Barry Trotz.
You have a goalie problem and you want to bring in Peter DeBoer? That's the guy you want to bring in? That guy hates goalies more than anybody in the world.
Yeah, Ottinger's not exactly a big fan of him right now.
Jake Ottinger situation notwithstanding, I think Edmonton and hiring Peter DeBoer would make the league explode. Can you imagine?
Yeah. All right, let's go into the Panthers then. They are heading into the Olympic
bum
break
bum bum.
with 10 players going to Italy and still a handful of players on the roster injured. And that includes Tobias Bjornfot.
A handful?
I'm not going to give you a rough estimate, but yes, and that's including
like two
Tobias
handfuls.
Bjornfot, who was placed on injured reserve yesterday. So you can add that to everything. And now Daniil Tarasov last night. So yeah, it's not looking good. They lost 5 of the last 6 and are dead last in the Atlantic Division. Not looking good.
They have exactly 2 handfuls of players injured right now. After last night's game where you add
They have a bushel.
Tarasov into the mix, they have 10
armful.
players that are currently injured, including their goalie, their
holding a
top
basket.
scorer, their best player,
Basket
their
of
top 3 of their defensemen from last year's Cup run, including their number 1 right-handed defenseman and their number 2 right-handed defenseman, who I personally think was their best defenseman before he got hurt this season in Seth Jones.
And as usual, by the way, last night's game, Panthers Lightning, complete mess. I put all the blame on Garrett Rank and TJ Luxmore. That was a complete disaster. Those two don't know how to officiate those two teams. They should never officiate that matchup ever again. They are the worst officials in the league. I've said it. Put it on record. Make that a clip. Put your mic on.
Actually, I was talking to E, and I was like, do you know what reminded me this game of? It was the game 3 where the Oilers, they lost all their hopes and they started fighting for nothing for no reason. Now we are the Oilers this time.
I don't think we're the Oilers.
I know, but this reminded me of this.
No,
like,
Rosie's
everybody just were fighting and fighting and fighting with no clue, and then you had like 5 players in the penalty box. They didn't even fit.
Look, you have 2 guys called up from the AHL to play defense last night on your third pairing in Donovan Sabrango, who's been up and down this year, and then help me out with this name, boys, because I'm blanking on it.
Mikolas Havorka.
Mikolas Havorka, who played his first NHL
Not
game
to be
last night.
confused with the Kavorka situation with Cosmo Kramer and Seinfeld.
All right, stick with me here, all right, because the comparable here is the 2022-23 season. After 57 games, they are on pace with that season. In fact, they're a point ahead. They're a point ahead in that season.
Which season? 23?
2022-23, that is the one where they
Vegas
made
final.
the playoffs and reached the Stanley Cup final. They finished the season that year 15-8-2. That is 32 points. That included finishing 6-1-1 with Alex Lyon as the starter. That was a 6-game winning streak, but still in Game 81, the Chicago Blackhawks defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins for the Panthers to make the playoffs. Now,
Can I
this
tell
is
you the
a
difference?
far more daunting season than that one.
Can I tell you the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, 57 games this year. They have 61 points. They're 8 points back to the wild card spot.
Yep.
57 games. They had 60 points in 2023. They were 2 points out of the wild card spot.
See, that's why
big
this
thing.
is a better conference this year than it was that year. And this year, we got some news, by the way, that we didn't expect happening. This is according to Frank Silla.
Speaking of trying to make the playoffs,
Frank Saravelli. And if there's one person you could trust him on this. The Panthers apparently have a top 10 protected pick if they go into the draft lottery. So Bill Zito has a decision to make. Do you tank? Well, I shouldn't even say tank. Do you forfeit this season and become sellers, or do you continue to try for the playoffs?
I think you continue to try for the playoffs. I think this Panthers team is built for that. Whether that's going to happen, whether the injuries will allow, I don't know. But I mean, everything that we've known about this team and how it's been made up under Bill Zito and Paul Maurice is that they go. Like, they're going to give maximum effort no matter what the situation is.
Especially once everybody comes back.
Well, that's the other thing. They're going to have full belief once everybody's healthy, that 8 points, whatever, we can do that in 2 weeks. That's fine.
Yeah, that's a big if, though, because remember, they have 10 players going to the Olympics. One of those players is hurt right now, so we might not even – there's no guarantee. Like, is he on the plane to Milan, Brad Marchand? Like, do we know he's going to Milan? Because he's missed the last – he's missed, the last, 5 games or so. He played that Boston game, but he only played 11 minutes.
Are we looking
He
at
missed the
minutes
Tampa
restriction
game last
here?
night. I don't know what we're looking at. That's not for
they've
me to
got,
figure
what,
out. That's for John Cooper
5
to figure
days
out.
until the men's hockey tournament starts, too? Like, that's the 11th?
But they're
That
flying
is
out
something
today,
that
and the
we
rosters
actually
have to be
should
set.
think about because he's coming back to the team. That might
Right.
affect
There's no guarantee that any of these guys will come back healthy from the Olympics. We saw what happened at the Four Nations this year. That's not for me to worry about. I would never want to stop these guys from going to the Olympics. Like, I'm not going to be one of these fans that's going to be mad about the fact that we have 10 guys going to the Olympics. I think it's a great thing. The really frustrating thing about this year is, like you mentioned, Dave, they were 2 points out of a playoff spot, in 23 with the same amount of point, one less point. They would be 2 points out of a playoff spot if they were just in the Western Conference right now, if they were just in the Pacific Division.
Yeah.
But because of how the East has been playing this year, and this is what I talked about last week, all of these teams in front of them are on fire. They just cannot lose right now. And Boston continues to stay hot, and Buffalo continues to stay hot. The crucial games before the break for the Panthers were that Buffalo loss where they blew a 2-point lead late in the 2-goal lead in the first period, and then they lost in the third period on just a complete defensive collapse, and a 2-goal lead late against Boston that ends up with Boston getting a point. If you're 5 points back you would be 6 points back instead of 8 points back. Like, 6 points back, you have a pulse. 8 points back with no games in hand is an incredibly tall task.
Hate math.
But also,
math on the fly.
all
is
you
hard.
need to do is win 4 in a row and have the team in front of you lose 4 in a row.
Well, look at
so it's like you never know.
Columbus has won 9 of 10, and that's gotten them 4 points out. That's the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah, and that's because of Rick Bonus.
Hey.
That's all because of Rick Bonus.
Coach bump.
It's time for Puck Luck. It's brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. David, have you won money this season? I don't remember.
I don't like that you start this off as such a negative place. Like, I feel like that's not good juju.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm sorry. Knock on wood then.
Yeah, all right. But we got Olympic hockey for Puck Luck this week, okay? So maybe it'll be a little bit. But, okay. So tomorrow, Saturday, women's hockey tournament's going on. We got a bunch of games. First, we're going to take Sweden on the puck line, -2.5 against the host country, Italy. I think Italy's getting some juice after a big win against France in their opener. So I think I'm going to take Sweden. I think Sweden's going to take care of business. Germany, we're also going to – this is all puck line. Germany, we're going to take +1.5 against Japan. Japan squeaked by France in their opener, while Germany put up a good fight against Sweden, even though they lost 4-1. I think Germany's had a better team overall. So I'll take Germany with the goals against Japan. And then, look, we're all USA supporting here. We're going to take USA against the Finnish team. That's sick. USA's favored to win gold, Roy. They looked really good in their opening win over Chechnya. And Finland hasn't played yet because half the team has the norovirus or norovirus or whatever it's called.
Yeesh.
So, maybe there'll be a little lag. We'll take U.S. with the spread. Parlay odds on this one is +428. Nice and friendly. Let's go win some Olympic money.
All right, it's time for the hockey stat of the week.
The hockey stat of the week.
Hi, Ethan.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Get into it, Roy. Panther fans, close your ears for this one. This hockey stat of the week. Sergei Bobrovsky currently 5th to last in the NHL with -14.2 goals saved above expected this season. Just shows how dire the goaltending situation has been for the Panthers this year. As great as Bob has been, he's an absolute Hall of Fame goaltender, changed the course of this franchise. That contract was worth every single penny. A big reason why the Panthers are in the situation they are right now is because Sergei Bobrovsky has not played well enough. We can talk about the situation in front of him, but at the end of the day, he is 5th to last in the NHL in goals saved above expected.
All right, it is time for Rosa en un minuto. Rosie, go ahead.
Daddy, where's my song?
Well, we don't have time for you to search for. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Whoa, it's loud.
Let's do this. Un minuto de hoy con Rosa, le dijo, este es un minuto de hoy con Rosa. Esta vez nos vamos acarrinando de todo está en calma hasta que no lo está. Ajá. La semana empezó fatal, iban ganando 3-0 contra Washington y aún así perdieron en overtime. Sí, impresionante. Pero Carolina dijo, tranquilos, tenemos un plan. Victoria 3-2 contra los Kings. Y Ajo salvando la dignidad overtime y Bussi demostrando que no fue suerte. Después más contra el triunfo 4-3 contra Ottawa y John Steele diciendo, capitán presente. Y Seth Jones anotando Jarvis, sorry. Anotando 2 veces. Y cerraron en modo no molestar. 2-0 contra los Rangers solos para Bussi. Rechaza 10 partidas segundo. Sumando puntos. Resultado final, 3 victorias, 1 derrota. En primer lugar, 0 pánico. Y a un recordatorio que cuando Carolina decide apretar, se acaba la conversación. Porque Carolina no siempre llueve, pero cuando llueve, arrasa. Esto fue un minuto de hockey con Rose. Tu resumen semanal de Puck, pasión y un poquito de caos.
All right, that was Rosa en un minuto. Thank you, Rosie.
For those who don't know Spanish, I'm going to give it to you in English.
It's time for Rosa in a minute. Let's do it.
Yes, okay. Let's do it, everybody.
I just said that.
Hey, because this is 1 minute of hockey with Rose, and this time we're heading to Carolina where everything is calm until it's not. The week started badly. They were up 3-0 against Washington and still lost in overtime. Yes, impressive. But Carolina said, relax, we got a plan. A 3-2 win over the Kings, and Aho saving the day in overtime, and Bussi proving it wasn't a fluke. Let's keep going. Then, more control. A 4-3 win over Ottawa with Jordan Stahl showing up like a true captain and Star Jarvis scoring twice. And they close things out with a not disturbed mode. A 2-0 win over the Rangers, another shout out to Bassi, and a streak of 10 straight games earning points. Final results, 3 wins, 1 loss. First place, 0 panic. And best reminder that Carolina decides to turn it off, the competition is over. Because in Carolina, it doesn't always rain, but when it does, it pours. This was 1 minute of hockey with Rose. Your weekly recap of puck, passion, and a little bit of chaos. And now Ethan is going to pick up my theme for next week.
All right, Ethan, what is Rose going to talk about next week?
Good rummage.
He's a rummager.
The Washington Capitals.
The Washington Capitals.
I don't think it's a
Sticking
good
in the
team,
East.
but okay.
Yes. All right, well, there you go.
No, you get Ovechkin. You get Jacob Chikrin.
There you go.
Who is the real snub
Give
for
it to
Team
me.
Canada, by the way, not Evan Bouchard. Jacob Chikrin should be on Team Canada.
Speaking
I
of
wanted to
Team
get that in
Canada,
there.
Seth Jarvis
Good
is
call.
now on the team. He's an
As is
injury
Sam Bennett.
replacement. As is Sam Bennett. So good for them. Congratulations. It's time for wins and fails of the week. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. What should I start with? My win or my
Win.
fail, Roy?
Well, we usually go in order with wins.
You're driving, so I just want to make sure I'm on the right lane.
I'm driving us into the win section.
All right. Well,
Win lane.
we've been talking about.
Marlins are in the win column.
I
Oh,
missed
nice.
that.
Nice
Joe
one.
Angel.
Joe Angel, I like that.
Yes.
Joe Angel and Tommy Hutton. All right, we are definitely far field. All right, my win of the week, we've been talking about it a lot today. It's the Olympics. And my win is just the U.S. women getting a huge win in their Olympic opener. The Olympic tournament is here. The U.S. women are off to a great start. They got the big 5-1 win against Chechnya. I mentioned it earlier. Haley Stamara had 2 goals. Alex Carpenter had a goal and assist. Hillary Knight had a gorgeous goal. And Aaron Frankel stopped 13 shots. I like that the U.S. held Chechnya to only 14 shots against. I'm just so happy to see Olympic hockey back on my TV, Roy. I'm really excited for what I've seen so far. I can't wait for the men's tournament to start next week, and I'm just pumped up, dude.
I'm keeping my win in that specific game because Layla Edwards is a star, and she had a coming out party in that game. U.S. won 5-1. Obviously, she had an assist in that game. She was a +1, had 3 shots on goal. She took a tripping call, but also drew a tripping call. She got first D pair minutes with 20 minutes and 45 seconds. She did very well. She's going to be a star, and eventually, when Canada plays the United States, Layla is going to be on the ice facing off against Sarah Nurse and Sophie Jock, which means for the first time ever, there will be more than one black woman, playing in the same game in the Olympics. So that is going to be very special. And with that, a shout out to Black Girl Hockey Club. Renee Hess and Fatou Ba was in New Jersey representing the culture and creating space for black women in hockey, as they usually do. They were in New Jersey. There was a video that was that's going to be played here with Fatou holding a sign saying Black Girl Hockey Club at the Prudential Center as the Islanders played the New Jersey Devils. Fatou was also at Winter Classic and Stadium Series and helped us out tremendously as the hockey show covered both events. So that's a win for Layla. That's a win for Black Girl Hockey Club and a win for representation in the sport of hockey. Ethan.
My win of the week, guys, comes from last night's Panther game. It was about the only good thing that happened for the Panthers. Watch Gustav Forsling just beat the absolute crap out of J.J. Moser here. You have to do something really, really bad to piss Gustav Forsling off and get your ass whooped like this, and he just mollywops him. I know that things were ugly. Kachuk maybe threw a little cheap shot at Kucherov. It's about time somebody finally pointed him out and how dirty he is sometimes, especially against the Panthers. So it was great to see Forsling just whooping on J.J. Moser. Yeah, things get ugly when the Panthers and Lightning play right now, guys. And
This was
these
great,
are the kinds
though.
of things that happen.
Like
Great.
if you watch this
Great
play out,
stuff.
like everybody's focused on Matthew Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel throwing haymakers at each other. But if you watch, Moser kept throwing, like not just like antagonizing Forsling. He kept throwing punches at Forsling, and Forsling's just backing away like, nah, dude.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that the Lightning are actually usually the antagonists and the
No,
ones
I'm
that
not-
usually get the Panthers started?
No, it goes both ways. Relax, Panther fan. We're okay. Just put your flag
Did you
down
see
for a
that
second.
last Lightning game, though?
They
against
go
the
at
Panthers?
each other. Like
They
not,
go at each
it's a
other, but-
rivalry. I'm not saying one is more physical than the other. I'm saying in this specific instance, Moser was going after Forsling during this scrum, and Forsling wanted nothing to do with it. He was just because it's Gus Forsling. He's like the most
Yeah,
chill guy on the team.
exactly.
But he's also the most cut, ripped, in shape
Yeah,
guy
he's
on the team.
jacked.
So you don't want to mess with Gus Forsling. So to see him just like, okay, red light, green light, I'm going. Moser had no shot.
Badass.
No shot.
So badass.
At
Great
least
to see.
Brandon Hagel didn't get hurt this time. Rosie, what's your win?
My win of the week. I hate bugs, but this bug has
Bug?
yeah.
Bug?
This bug has captured my heart.
Oh,
Look at that
ThunderBug.
bug.
Didn't he almost run us over right after he did this?
Oh really?
When we were walking
That
in, remember
was
we were walking
great.
into the stadium.
Look
Yes.
at that. The presence and everything. Ugh, I'm gonna do that.
He did. He almost ran us
Yes.
over in the media entrance.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
were
God.
walking in for the game, and all of a
Unfinished
sudden we hear
business.
beep, 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 watch out, and freaking ThunderBug zzz, right by.
ThunderBug didn't do his job well.
I had to dive in a bush, which we seen that. We definitely seen that during Gasparilla.
That was a common
That's
occurrence for
awesome.
sure.
Oh boy.
That was maybe the highlight of our trip was the 30 minutes that we sat in traffic. We moved maybe 30 feet, and it was the best, most entertaining 30 minutes of my life.
I wish we had more time to talk about that because that was crazy.
Oh my God, dude.
All right, fail of the week.
Fail of the week. All right. Nikita Zadorov had an interesting exchange with the referee during the Stadium Series game that Roy and I were at in Tampa. As you guys, I'm sure, know, there was an amazing goalie fight between Andrei Vasilevsky and Jeremy Swayman that had us all pumped up. I'm still jacked up over it. But after the fight, Zadorov had an interesting little exchange with the referee about who should be sitting in the penalty box and serving these goalie fight penalties. Play it, please.
Here, what's the ruling?
It stays 5-on-4.
But the goalies can stay in?
Huh?
Discrimination.
Oh, good. Why discrimination?
Well,
We're good.
when
Then you
I
said
fight, I
limit.
have to sit in the cold box.
Let's move on, okay?
I love the refs just like, let's move on.
Okay. That's okay.
But that's such a good argument. When I fight, I have to sit in the cold box. They get to keep playing. Like, yeah, well, you know what? You should have been a goalie.
I'm very confused about this rule because a long time ago, when the goaltenders fought, they actually got game misconducts, and when they crossed the red line, it was penalties. And I don't understand the rule here. I don't know if it was changed or not. I need more clarification. Maybe we should ask Greg that.
Maybe. But what was interesting about this goalie fight was that both goalies crossed the red line.
Yes.
Which is like, okay, well, let's keep it all even. Like, I loved it. They both took their helmets off ahead of time. They both were, like, giving each other pats on the back afterwards. That was such a great goalie fight from start to finish.
Same for the Bobrovsky fight.
That one I feel like had more anger in it, though.
Yes. It wasn't staged.
The big copycat.
The big copycat.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Bob throws hands, and like a week and a half later, Vasilevsky throws hands.
Yeah.
The big copycat.
It was staged. The league made them do it. All right. My fail of the week, and I say this with a smile on
Your
my
words,
face.
not mine.
Tony DeAngelo. I mentioned, by the way, it was a win. My win of the week was basically representation in the sport of hockey. This guy is the complete opposite of representation in the sport of hockey. So at this point, he should be a Hall of Famer in the wins and fails column because this fool will be first ballot in the fail ring. All right. So this is what happened during Monday's Islanders game against the Capitals. Nick Dowd, who, by the way, his 500 game, had his shot deflected off from the side of the crease off of Adam Pelech, off of his stick, and eventually off of the skate of Tony DeAngelo, and that goal made it 3-1. The Capitals eventually won 4-1. And funny enough, Craig Laughlin said on the Capitals broadcast that good things happen to good people. So,
I heard
what
that
does
too.
that
That was
make
so funny.
Tony DeAngelo?
I just love that, like, you never miss an opportunity.
Hey, man, it's always on my radar. It's like a big bogey, just a big bird flying into a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the fail of the week Hall of Famer. Let's book that right now, Ethan.
Rosie.
So Ethan doesn't have one.
Apparently, Ethan's going to last. Rosie.
Yeah, no. Ethan doesn't have one, so
you don't have one.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna finish
Good
with
week.
mine.
The Olympics,
Look,
my birthday. No fails this week.
My ass.
Look at Queen Hughes. That's how we all feel this week. So that's my fail of the week. 1, 2, 3. Very sleepy.
Ice
Did you see him fall down in warm-ups last week? Just like
I'm so sorry.
in the background of
analysis.
Brock Faber being interviewed. Did you see him just wipe out on his ass?
Unbelievable. This
Love
is like
Quinn Hughes.
this is like that funny video of women wearing high heels and breaking their ankles just falling down. For those of you watching on DraftKings Network, please check out our YouTube video because coming up next we have ESPN senior NHL writer Greg Wyshynski. That's coming up next on the Hockey Show.
Woo!